Hello, my name is Matti Levitz, and I am really happy that I can be here, and I hope to see you soon, and we will have a success season. See you.
Recorded live from the secret Center City Studios.
He's the Prez. I'm the Capo.
And this is Sons of Ben,
The Pod.
the pod. Adam, what time is it?
It's sexy season.
It's sexy season. Everybody, welcome back to episode number 2. Officially 2.
Nice.
Technically 3. We did an intro, but that doesn't count, so it screws me up. But yeah,
It's okay.
Number
2
3.
is a very sexy number.
sexy number. 2 is the loneliest number.
Absolutely not, but I love it. Let's do it.
So a little bit of podcast news. We made it to number 2, and we have an email for you guys. You can send your questions to sobthepod@sonsofben.com. Questions, themes you want to hear, anything, we'll answer a couple, and we'll get you on the show one way or the other.
We've also become a professional outlet, and we have a Twitter.
Oh, we did the Twitters?
We did the Twitter, which I'm not the biggest fan of the Twitter personally,
I can't stand the social medias, let alone the Twitter.
but I understand that the kids enjoy the Twitter, and it's a good way to get the voice out. Good way to talk to the people. So we're going to do a little Twitter.
Do we ever mention their @ handles? Like if you have an egg, we're not going to mention who you are. You have to at least have a picture. Do we have
That would be
rules for this,
no.
or-
I mean, look, we have a lot of members of the Union community that like using different avatars. So
Like Union Hulk is an exception, but if you're the ex-GM of the Philadelphia 76ers, screw that.
Michelangelo's.
Yeah, I'm not
I
answering
actually
him.
were about. I thought you were about to say Adam Arison. That's where I was going with that. I was like, that's a throwback. That's a good one. No, but yeah, it's at SoB the pod. You know, it's very simple. I'm actually very happy that was an available Twitter handle. Sometimes those get lost. You know, I was waiting for there to be digits behind it of some sort, but no.
underscore,
Yeah, right. You know, just
exclamation point.
ampersand, something like that.
Yeah. So we've got 2 formats. You can reach out, and we're going to make producer Devin handle all that crap because I ain't got it in me anymore to look at any more social media, Gmail questions. No, I'm just kidding. We'll look at it. We'll get back to you as soon as we can. Yeah, depending how deep this thing goes.
It's really terrible how much we make Devin do in comparison to the rest of us.
He's getting paid more than both of us combined.
We're getting paid.
No.
Oh.
It's
I'm just
about it's like 2 cents.
Oh. Well, I mean, get
It's
those
scam money.
See, we keep cursing. We can't get the monetization, and that's the problem.
And as you should know, the pod should be or is now available anywhere you can get your pod on.
Which is fun that I saw that the first episode, at least on Spotify, was mentioned as explicit. So we were off the rails apparently for our own introduction, which I guess leads a false sense of security for the rest of it. Because if we're not like cursing like sailors, I don't think they understand what we were trying to do the first time around.
Listen.
False advertisement, really.
I'm sure I'm good for at least one F-bomb pod.
What was that? What was the movie where they told you it was like you get one F-bomb per movie before it goes to PJ-13 to an R-rated movie? Something with John Travolta in it. I just remember that being like the line.
Oh, I thought it was Indiana Jones, but I was so off.
That's exactly it. It was actually the Crystal Skull when they were like, wow, this is a terrible movie. Drops 2 F-bombs. Damn it. Let's make it rated R.
Dun, 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 dun. So, in SOB News, that's better than a little scroll like, in other SOB News, we
Yeah,
just
no.
use the Indiana Jones theme song.
God, you really want us to get sued by somebody. Anybody you want us to get sued by. LucasArts will take us to the cleaner. Lucasfilm, sorry, will take us
There
to the
is
cleaner.
no such thing as bad press.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Speaking of bad press, did you know that we had an EMLS event, Adam?
You know, so I, as a avid FIFA player myself, have really enjoyed the EMLS aspect added to the Union. I thought that was a really cool thing MLS did to get ahead of a lot of other leagues, was to add, you know, a FIFA league in there before like Real Madrid or any of the big clubs did it. But there's a time, and there's some times when you look at it and it was like maybe this wasn't the greatest idea in the world.
Did you enjoy it when we had a player that was a winner?
I enjoyed it when we had a player.
Oh. But we have a championship pedigree performer as our player.
So, like, I was watching a PGA Tour event today, and John Smoltz was in it. And he was actually doing really well in this PGA Tour event. So I was thinking, so it is possible for someone to be good at 2 things, Jai didn't prove that to me, but it's okay. And here's the thing, much love for Mr. Ajayi. I got no problems with it, but like you can't even like come on, man. Like yes, it brought more cameras there than probably we would have got normally if we just had dual stud beating everyone. But yo, we were the home crowd. How we getting donutted?
I don't know what you're talking about. He made the Final Four.
I'm gonna fight.
For those that didn't know, he made the Final Four.
Like
Homegrown talent.
homegrown. And wait, did you tell them that the host nation, like the World Cup, automatically makes it into the final 8 just cause?
Pretty much that's what happened. So, but we were both at the event. Shout out to the union marketing. They did a great job. Our boy Sean Brace was on the 1s and the 2s, or if it was the JJ, the 1 and the 1.5.
Oh God.
But it was a good event. We did get a lot of press and publicity, and there were a ton of people that I never thought would be anywhere around an EMLS video game event. And there are probably some people there that shouldn't have been around that many children.
We're having that game. No, it was legitimately. I was shocked by not really by how big the crowd was, because I've followed a lot of the esports circle, so I know like an event like this it gains a lot of traction. If anyone saw what the Fusion, the Overwatch team, did this past summer, I know you did, Matt. You were there in person down at the Wells Fargo.
Bells on.
But like legit, it brought a decent sized crowd out. So when you had Union Transfer pretty much packed in there with a really large and eclectic group of individuals, it was really fun. And Ajaya getting boat raced most matches wasn't necessarily the most fun thing to watch, but to see like guys from across the country come in, like kids, like literally like teenagers representing these MLS teams and being very, very bleeping good at their job. It was really fun to watch.
No, like I said, I have zero interest, but I was interested at the event. We know the JHI thing was a media stunt.
Yeah.
It worked.
Oh,
so
yeah.
good for them.
Yeah.
Just like the chief tattoo officer was a media stunt, and it worked. It got the union's name out there for doing something other than doing union things. We all know what that means
still on
years ago.
staff?
I believe. Well, Bone Daddy's still in business, so I think
Yeah,
he's
but he's still on
the
staff.
I believe so. Now, here's the hard hitting question for you.
Yes.
Between the chief tattoo officer, Adam Booth, Jay Ajayi, who wins at FIFA?
I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm god awful. And, like, so bad that I shock myself sometimes how bad it is for how long I've been playing.
So you're saying you can take them both?
Oh, yeah, I beat them both handedly. But, when I play someone who's, like, of a normal 12-year-old, no, I'm getting my ass kicked. It's not even close. And it's very shameful. I thought I had better hand-eye coordination than that.
Probably the second tailgate, people, that's going to happen. Little mini FIFA tournament. Bring it, Jay Ajayi, bring it.
Well, here's the thing. We had a FIFA tournament because when Fox was doing their little documentary for Dual Stud back in the day, Dual Stud had a Fox Sports documentary. We brought that up last episode, but I'll bring that up again. That, to me, was probably one of the most interesting things the union has ever done.
Oh, I know. It was painful. Luckily, I was out of town when it was being filmed.
I
so
loved it.
We put Jess in her little bubble and helmet and sent her down there to be interviewed for it.
Oh, Bubble Jess. Oh, God, we got a character, Bubble Jess. No, but legitimately, I played Dual Stud that day on Fox for his reality show, and I only lost 3-0. So I really think that was an accomplishment.
Now, do you have to pay his college tuition?
No, but at least it's Temple. If he was going to do like one of these like Penn situations, I'm not sure Nashville will be all...
Is he going to Temple?
Yeah, he's going to Temple.
And Nashville's pick? I thought he got into Vanderbilt or some shit.
That would have been... I mean, like, I love MLS. I don't think MLS pays that much for a left back, let alone a kid's college tuition.
Well, that weird kid from Cincinnati, he walked with $7,500, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. I mean, but that's going to get you books at most institutions right now.
The kids, I thought you downloaded to your iPad now.
Well, here's the thing. If you got a situation like most... the MLS is probably going to push you towards, what was it, South New Hampshire University, their online institution, if you're trying to get your degree. So
$7,500 should get you all the way through. But anyhow,
I would hope.
We did talk about the 2020 membership scarves. All the membership kit is out. Check your social media. Check your knack. that will be part of your membership kit. So the sooner you re-up, the sooner it will get out there. We'll be making an announcement on the packing party and what tailgates you can pick everything up. But the new membership kits are out. Shout out Ryan Barros, Molly, everybody that designed that. The kit looks awesome. I can't wait to see the scarf itself. So check that out. And then the last thing was this weekend, Adam. We were, some of the board went to lovely Baltimore.
I wasn't invited.
You were invited. You just didn't want to go.
I was not.
You didn't want to hang out with a bunch of capos.
Well, yes, that's actually ironically my nightmare. But no, it's I heard you guys did have a good old time down there though.
Yeah, so this year ISC, which is the Independent Supporters Council, and I'll try to fly through this so people don't fall asleep at the wheel. It is a group of North American Independent Supporters Council. And this year we usually have about 15 groups, 25, 30 people. We had over 150 people represented from USL, NWSL, MLS. And it was just a great time of collaborating. It's cool for the Sons of Ben because actually the Sons of Ben were one of the first groups that started this thing. And we brought a couple board members down, and you just have breakout sessions about best TIFO and sponsors and just everything to see how to run a group to make this thing go. So we met, had that over the weekend, and had some interesting things. Now, I hear we've got a question from the, was this from the Twitter?
Yeah, so I was going to ask these listener questions later, but I hear this one might get involved here. So this one's from Philly Fan 6771. He said, are there any concerns that the season will not start on time?
It's funny, before this weekend, I was like, no concerns whatsoever. We had two members that represent the, not the Philadelphia Union, but the Players Association, and they came in to meet with us and give us an update. They say they started this discussion earlier than they ever have, and this is, I think, discussion number 3, and they feel pretty good about this, but they weren't going to guarantee that there wasn't going to be a work stoppage.
I'm like mixed about this.
Yeah. So the entire presentation, they talked about their history, how they wanted our support, how the players know what the supporters do for the sport and for them, and how they're trying to make sure MLS is a professional league that's looked at and respected throughout the world. But then they're like, yeah, so the 4 charter flights, we kind of put that in as a minimum, and the league goes, oh no, that's all we can do because the Players Association said so. So that's kind of the little nitpicky back and forth that goes on. Personally, I think they're going to get it done because I don't think people are ready. The teams, especially the new teams, are ready revenue-wise to have a stoppage. And I doubt every player has been squirreling away money. Maybe the guys that are making a ton of money have squirreled away a little bit, but I don't think the guys that are in league minimums, your academy players, were like, hey, Mom, can I borrow $10,000 because I squirreled away my $65,000 starting salary?
Well, and even more so, it's just like this league is, it's so weird when you put it against the rest of professional sports in North America because we're used to it being the pinnacle. Like we're used to the MLB, the NBA. Like these guys in the NBA casually are making 8 figures for being a bench rider now.
And they're the worldwide leader in that sport.
Exactly. So it's like the obvious weird issue America's has, like we're number 1, so like all of our things are like the pinnacle. And then you have the MLS where an American sports fan more than likely has been introduced to another version of soccer before they came into MLS. So they know what it can be. And it can be super frustrating, especially from a market like a Philadelphia or a Chicago or back in the day, Los Angeles when they had Chivas and all that, where you have these giant markets and you're just like, well, spend money, do the money thing. And they're like, we have no money. I'm like, well, why don't you have money? Like we're ticket sales and blah, blah, we're giving you money. We're giving you there's new TV deals. There's new streaming deals. Where's the money? Why are we only giving, like, why is only 2 members of my roster making over $1 million, you know?
Yeah, and Charlotte paid, what, $300 million for a new team?
Exactly. Like, that's crazy. Like, and that's why Sugarman's not selling, if anyone wants that conversation. Like, he's already, 100% in his investment if he sold today?
I think he bought when he bought in, was it 10 million?
Yeah.
He bought the ugliest house on the block, and it's worth 300 million.
Yeah.
He got equity. He okay.
Like exactly. But
So,
like,
and another note from the ISC while we're talking about this.
Yeah.
You mentioned Chicago. Best fact of the weekend I heard, Chicago, this is for everybody that goes, oh, the Union should move into Lincoln Financial Field. We'll sell out. Chicago is moving away from their awful situation, which is way worse than anything you could imagine Chester would be,
Bridgeview's pretty terrible.
into historic Soldier Field. How many season tickets do you think they rocked out?
13.
If you said 6,000, you'd be a little high.
That you're lying to me.
5,000 to 6,000 is what
I
the season
authentically
ticket.
don't believe you.
5,000 to 6,000 is what their numbers were as of by the time the Chicago people came down, and their front office is trying to replace their supporters groups with front office official supporter groups. So that's basically
Liquidate.
buying fans to be fans,
Liquidate.
and that's
Just-
it. It's trying to take the voice out of being a fan.
What
So-
happened there? What? Because like Chicago's one of the best sports cities in the country, and like Soldier Field's. I mean, like that's not the most ideal soccer venue, but that should just be a slam dunk for just sport. Has that brand has alienated their fan base so hard to this point? Like, I mean, like the
Yeah.
logo aside, like the logo is atrocious.
The
but
logo, they were just trying to tell people to forget about what the Chicago Fire were and redo. So, oh yeah, they've alienated their core members by trying to go after new fans.
Yeah.
And they haven't done good either. So that was just an interesting note that we talked about. So now we can get back into something that can make us feel better about being Philadelphia Union fans. You know who did it again?
Who did it again?
Ernst did it again.
Oh my God, he's becoming one of my favorite. I guess like sporting director is almost the same as a general manager. He might be my favorite GM in the city right now.
Oh, he's my favorite GM in the city.
I like Elton, but like he might be my favorite.
I like Elton, and yeah, I can't say I like that guy Clint, whatever. I'm not even gonna say his name. from the Phillies.
Manny Clacks. Manny Clacks.
Every time I see him, I think of that moment. Hi, Manny, when he tried to open up the front door that he locked on the free agent. Yeah,
I'm literally still
Ernst
believing.
got the key to open the door.
I still believe it's Ruben Amaro Jr. until someone tells me otherwise.
So yeah, Ernst. Who did he bring in again?
So he brought sexy season.
Sexy season.
He brought all of the sexy season. And the best part about sexy season is it hit us out of left field with it. Like I was watching that entire video and then he just like, and it's gonna be sexy season. And I just sat there and just like for a half a second you thought maybe there's a translation glitch, maybe there was something wrong with it. But you listened to it again and you were like, no, that's sexy season.
I'm not up on my Slovakian, so I wasn't sure if you know how some words you can be like
There's multiple meanings.
multiple meetings. So
Yeah.
was he thinking like, hey, we're gonna have a hot season, but it translated to sexy in his mind? Does that mean it's like gonna be a herpes season, or hey, happy chlamydia season, or is it gonna be a sexy season?
It's gotta be a sexy
So if
season.
we have any Slovakian speakers out there, can let us know what that really means, because I'm happy but yet concerned.
Google Translate still gave me sexy season.
All right, I feel better then.
So
it wasn't chlamydia season.
No, it was sexy season. Here's the thing. If the Union do not lean all the way in on this, it is one of the most underrated marketing opportunities I've seen in a while. And like, yes, you want to create a wholesome family environment,
How do you get a family?
Disney, blah, blah, blah.
How do you get a family?
Sexy season. Look, man, all I'm saying is that is the most unintentionally great advertisement that any team has ever stumbled on.
I'm gonna give the Union the first free marketing merch event idea. So you know how you have those little stick figures of the kids?
Yeah.
So it's the mom, the dad, the
Yeah.
little kid, and then you go after sexy season and you add like 3 more kids. And you can put that right on the car. Put a little baby fang there and hashtag sexy season. So there you
Oh my
go. Run with it, Doug. Run with it, Tim. Run.
We, as always, are giving the Union all of their things for free.
I know. We're gonna start charging
Giving it away.
a pod consulting fee.
So other than the sexy season, they did something which I would also say is equally sexy. They got Montero.
I did not even think that was going to happen. Just talking to Ernst after the tailgate, people like, re-sign him, and he'd just shake his head like, we ain't pulling that money out of the hat. They got it done.
Look, there is some part of me that thinks that in Chester, there's a war room where like Ernst and Jim are all sitting there, and like there's a throne.
Don't forget Chris.
No, Chris, no, man, boy band hair is
band
there
hair.
for sure. But I'm saying they're all in this room, and there's a swivel chair. And in that swivel chair is Jay Sugarman petting a white cat. And he's just sitting there, and he's just like, oh, I don't think we have enough money this season. And it just legitimately had people banging on the tables like, go get me my DP. And then finally someone has broken him after all this time and said, will you, for the love of God, spend this little amount of money on this human? And they
Do
were
you
like,
think
"Fine."
that scenario is the reason Jay's only spent $1 million?
I mean, I honestly believe he's still working in an economy from 1999, yes. Yes.
Jay, you got the money. We know you got the money. There's $300 million on the table.
It's just like when, like, you can look at what MLS is doing financially, and it's a revenue sharing league too. It's not even like one of these situations where it's like an actual club where all of their money is just kept in house. Like the league is giving a lot of this amongst each other, and it's just like when I look at the Union, it made no sense to me that time after time you would leave this market to be like, we're just going to dink and dunk with the type of individuals we're going to get. We're not like, I don't need Chicharito, personally. I don't need you to go get me Zlatan. But there's some more home runs you definitely could be swinging for. And I love Barnetta, and I loved Nogueira. And I thought that Maurice Adu at the time was a fantastic signing. If he didn't get hurt, I think that would have been a really great signing. And even Bedoya was that was a really great signing. But it just seems opening the purse strings was just such a hard sell to this ownership.
And this might be pod breaking news. I'm going to actually defend Jay a wee bit. So what we heard through good sources was Jay said, I can find money and get money, and I don't mind spending it, but I want some sort of guarantee, or you convince me that this is the right move.
There's a return on investment.
And that was mostly because that one year we had 13 goalkeepers and a guy that played in a little tournament in Brazil. He was bitten from the past sporting directors, vice presidents, whatever their title was, that were just spending money on guys, or former coaches that were, hey, I need this guy from Latin America because apparently I need a bonus. So I think
we've had only three coaches. Are we just talking about?
We're talking about that one guy.
Yeah,
we don't want to get sued. Yeah.
Okay, I was just saying.
And sporting directors, but so
it was a Hackworth. Hackworth was asking for these people. Yeah.
Jay was I know was burnt from spending money bad over bad. Where I think when Ernie came in, they were like, well, we'll play Moneyball like I did in the Dutch league. And my argument was, if you're going to play Moneyball, A, don't fly into a U.S. Open Cup match in a helicopter. You should be rolling in a Prius. And B, you got to hit on 2 out of your top 4 guys. Yeah. And they didn't hit. No. But now Ernst is hitting.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to be happy that Ernst is hitting. And that's why it's uncomfortable how much I love another man. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but
yo, man, guy love is real.
Dude, I love this guy because so far he has taken jokes that we've said for years about the 3rd division of Germany, pulled in guys, and you're like, holy crap, Kai Wagner can play. Look, we're excited about a guy, sexy time, from the Slovakian. Is that the A League? I don't know, but we're excited about this guy.
Look, if you're gonna tell me Ernst says has a B League, I'd be shocked.
I don't want to.
Do they have a B League?
I bet you they do.
Okay.
I mean, we've got a B League.
Do we?
Yeah.
What's the NASL? Oh, that's the B. I thought that was just straight minors.
Oh. I mean,
yeah.
Everyone's got a B League.
Yeah. Okay,
I mean,
that's fair.
Go to the bar on a Friday night, you'll see your B League.
Yo, man, what was that? Christos FC, the one that went to play DC United in the U.S. Open Cups. That was literally just like what was it, a liquor store? It was a liquor store in like Maryland. They went to the U.S. Open Cup. Went all the way to the Metroplex.
Yeah, and that was also happening in the 1979 classic, The Bad News Bears. But I don't really believe in either one.
Oh my god, I miss the Bad News Bears. The remake was terrible, but the old school one was fantastic.
And then I guess the last piece of news from our boy Ernst was the contract's out there for Ilsinho. All he has to do is sign it.
So, like, here's the thing. If you are Ilsinho, and I hate being an X and O pod, so we won't do this for too long, but my question is, like, just on a strict, if you're Ilsinho right now, what is the reason you don't sign this contract?
Well, if I'm 36 years old and notoriously not a fan of running and exercising, I don't want to be practicing at the Sixers Fieldhouse in Wilmington, Delaware on turf, where I can delay it until, we're going to be on grass in Florida. I'll come work out then.
So you think this is just a classic holdout?
I just think he's like, I'll sign when I want to, man. I know what to do. I don't need to be in the cold. You know how cold it is right now outside?
Yeah.
Do you think Brazilian Ilsinho wants to come out in shorts and little gloves and run around the field?
No.
My man doesn't like to run that much as it is.
Yes, true.
So he's like,
You said no falsehoods.
That's what I think. Do I think he was a low ball offer? I don't know, because every year it's gone down a little bit as he gets older.
No, but here's the thing, and here's something that I find very interesting about it is he's definitely reinvented himself, and he's definitely became like, and soccer is a weird, like, super subs are very real, but soccer is a weird place for them to just be like an exclusive kind of super sub. You know, so like at this stage in his game, he's definitely like a 6-man kind of individual where if you have 30 minutes to burn and you just need a guy to just play with a ball in front of like 20 people and put a ball in the net. Yeah, that's Ilsinho, but like outside of that, he ain't gonna give you that much. So if I'm Ilsinho, it's just like if that's the case and he's just waiting for Clearwater, then that's fine. But it's just like if he's offensively thinking about doing something else, I'm just like, what are you going to do exactly? Like, who's paying you right now?
Well, it's funny you say that, because I think I may know what his plans are.
What is that?
Did you see the clips of the Union's under-12s team in Brazil?
I did.
So there were YouTube clips out there, and my first thought when I saw this was, man, we are getting waxed by these Brazilian kids. And then somebody goes, oh no, the Union kids are the ones doing the waxing. I think maybe they're all his kids. So Ilsinho is like Sparty Jones, and he's just out there on a stud farm. Like, so he's in Wayne, PA at the academy, just reproducing.
Yeah.
So he's Smarty Jones.
At an alarming rate.
At an alarming rate.
He's like, and these kids are in metabolic chambers.
Don't get scientific on me,
I
but
mean,
I'm just thinking,
I'm here for it.
He might make more money on a stud farm than playing, and there is less running.
Infinite less running.
A lot of dribbling.
Maybe some cramping.
Running. Could be some
Gatorade.
Cramping. Gatorade sponsorship, Tim. Gatorade.
But like I saw the clips of it. I saw when they won Champions League, when they won Associate Bank Champions League. I'm like, that's a fun thing to do. And then they'd go down to you win North American soccer as a U12 team from America. I'm like, I'm impressed by you. When you almost beat South America in the process too, like that. Look, putting stock into youth academies is one thing, because like of all 12 of those kids you saw out there, 2-3 of them might make it even close to the first team ever in their lives. And like, if that's the case, the 2030 Union are going to be stacked. But legitimately, it's impressive to see in the short amount of time that's been a thing, how quickly we've gotten them to be like, I'm not saying they're the NV Academy of MLS or anything like that, but like legitimately they are producing bona fide talent.
When we were at ISC, guys were coming up, man, your academy. Did you see the clip of your, like, I did see the Ilsinho 11 out there on the field. So it was, no, I mean, what can you say? And again, we're going to cheap plug. We're going to have a Sons of Ben night at the academy.
That was, the worst idea the Union have ever done.
That's going to be great. It's going to be great.
That's how we lose the academy players. No parents are going to be like, we do not want our children playing in front of those hoodlums.
Get the parents drunk with us. It'll be fine.
We don't have that much Prosecco.
When have I ever steered you wrong?
We don't have a pod long enough. literally be sitting in this room.
Speaking of other great ideas that are geared toward the family,
Oh God, what are we talking about now?
did you see the New Jerseys?
Well, other than the great state of New Jersey, no, I saw the. I was actually one of the few Sixers games I missed. Which the irony is palpable. Actually, I missed when Jim rang the bell too. So like every time the Union do something at the Sixers, I tend to miss it because, well, I do give my tickets out fairly often to like family members and stuff like that, and I'm just because like
To only trustworthy people, he doesn't want to lose his seats.
look, man, I tell people all the time that Frosty guy, the guy who flipped off like an entire organization, like he made Isaiah Thomas go into the stands with his antics.
I thought it was Ish Smith.
Same. If you couldn't tell the 6.5-inch height difference, I don't know what to tell you on that one. But like legitimately,
He was angry.
He was not happy about the situation. But it's like that's why I don't get my tickets out to every hoodlum who asks me. Because I'm like, no, I've seen you. I've seen you out there. I like my tickets. Please do not lose it just because you were mad you didn't get a frozen dairy treat.
Which is on the dollar menu.
Legit 99 cents. I will freak out for the Frosty Freeze out like anyone, but like losing it is not a crime. Come on, man.
So if people don't understand what we're talking about, MLS finally loosened the reins on the sponsorship. So if your primary kit sponsor has another brand, you can use that other brand on an alternative kit. So for everybody for the past 8.5, 9 years that have been complaining about it's called Beambo, not Bimbo, about that on the front of the chest, and they didn't want their wife or their daughter or their son or anybody to wear a Bimbo, even though it's Beambo. Time to put up or shut up. They've got artisanal line that I thought the kit, a lot of people didn't like the font, but
It's Comic Sans.
Yeah, it's Comic Sans.
It's Comic Sans.
But
And it's a cursive A to start for no reason. Like that's also interesting to me.
cursive is a lost art form.
No, but like no other part of it's
If you want to
cursive, but they give
confuse
you
a
a cursive A.
millennial, you give them a handwritten note in cursive.
Man, you confuse a millennial by giving us a pen.
Yeah, it's true too.
I have to write a check tomorrow because I gotta go to the customs to get a passport. That's like the first check I've physically written in like 3 years.
You know you have to write that in cursive too, right?
No, I don't.
Oh yeah.
I'm printing the hell out of that sucker. My handwriting is I have no calligraphy training whatsoever. But no, yeah, no.
I'm excited to see the New Jersey just because I'm curious how many people are going to put up or shut up on, oh, I never bought a jersey because I can't support that sponsor. Well, that sponsor's taken out of it. That name's taken out of it. So either you're going to buy this kit and we're like, oh, cool, or you were just cheap.
Well, you know it's not like that.
And don't be cheap during sexy season.
Sexy season and artisanal bread. No, it's seriously, but you know it's gonna be a classic not like that. It's like, I want something different. I want something different. Well, not that thing. The other thing, I want that thing. I'll go back to the other thing if you're gonna give me that thing. But no, we were talking about it earlier, the sexy season being lost in translation as possibly being like maybe he was saying something else. Like Bimbo has been for MLS the greatest lost in translation.
Oh yeah.
It's a great sponsorship and it is the worst sponsorship at the same time, where it is just like no one knows what it is half the time. No one knows how to say it. It loses, like, I don't know if have they sold more bread because the Union now wear that on their jersey, honestly? I feel like there might be measures.
Tim McDermott just called in. They've sold a ton more bread because of
So much more bread.
So much more bread.
Look, man,
More bread.
Tim got a tough job. I respect the hustle of Mr. McDermott, but if they've sold more Thomas's English muffins because of this sponsorship, then I'm here for it. But like, someone knock on the Roberts door at Comcast and be like, $5 million. $5 million. Please. $5 million.
I think I spend $5 million a month on Comcast. They can
Just
up the money some more.
$5 million. Just take
Jeez.
2.5 seconds. I mean, like, look, I appreciate my pastry jerseys, but $5 million. Give me some. Just put Xfinity. Put Brooklyn 99 across the jersey. I don't give a damn. Put
Not Brooklyn.
Oh, that's true. What is it? This Is Us. I don't know. Just put whatever Showtime's on, and we'll move it on from there.
You know what? We're gonna get into a couple more things and then get this thing under 40-some minutes. So we're gonna try. Basically, I think we had a question on what is left for the Union to do during this off season.
What is left for them to do in the offseason?
It's January.
Yeah.
Now, normally we don't make any major signings until like March, April. It feels like.
Yeah.
So are we done? Not done? What do we need? But we're not X's and O's. But just curious on your thought. What is left
But
to
we're
do?
not X. We are really selling the not X's and O's podcast element when we talk.
We
so
haven't
much
talked
X's and O's.
formation yet.
So
We
here's
just
what.
talked
Yeah, when we start talking about the diamond. No, it's like ultimately, I think that they need to go get one, put the ball in the net kind of guy, like just one more. And I know you got Corey Burke coming back eventually when all that's said and done. And you had Andrew Woot and you signed. And Casper was fantastic last year. But it's just like the midfield looks so good. And your back line looks like it might be a thing. And I think Andre is really going to have a bounce back year from last year. And I'm just like, if you're going to derail this by just not getting a consistent goal scorer into this fray, that's going to be so... It's like it's again like kind of like watching the Sixers. You watch a Sixers team where like, their length is fantastic, their defense is amazing, you know, their ball movement's fantastic, but you're just like, are you really going to be derailed by not having just one killer scorer? Like, are you just going to be derailed by just having that one lack of an element to it? And that would be really frustrating because we saw last year when they wanted to be that team could be anybody in MLS,
So
especially at home.
So I think Casper, Wooten, and Burke are the similar guys.
Yeah, they're all the same dude.
So then Sergio Santos is the speed guy that could play alongside any of them.
But he's like a hybrid.
Another?
No, I need a 5'10" speed demon. I need a 5'6" speed demon. I
think he's in Dallas.
But like I know, but like I need a more natural 9 version of Fafapakal.
Now, do we need? And I know a
I
lot
want
of
a
people are going to
blazer.
say yes. On the other side, do we need a back position defender?
Look, I'm the biggest Ray Gaddis person in the universe.
I love the guy. So.
I am the biggest Ray Gaddis supporter in the universe. So until someone tells me otherwise, he can be my right back, and I'm not going to have that big of a deal with it. But if you're going to tell me like there's some position you need to upgrade, it's probably at this point right back. Like if it's not going to be any of the other positions on the field, because like your left back's fine, your back line, you might want to sign another backup central CB, but you really don't need a starting CB.
Because with
already
Harris
got yours.
gone, do you need Ray being so defensive minded? Can you then
less
use that?
Right. You can let him go a little bit wider because Ray gets after it. When you let him get some room at it, he can get after it. But when he has to just play like straight defense, like Ray's not going to score you a goal. You know, even though we have shirts,
you know what's going to happen.
We'll riot.
That's right.
But but it's like if you allow him to be creative and allow him to like be a ball winner and just like track people down, that's where he excels at. Like not many people like he might get beat on the first step. No one's outrunning him. No. So ultimately, if you're going to tell me there's something that you can upgrade, I would say right back. Ultimately, beyond that, I'm like, look, go get me a guy who just puts the ball in the net in an obscene kind of way, and let's walk into either a U.S. Open Cup final or an MLS Cup final. Because, that's what the team should have done last year.
Oh, yeah. So I think we have a question from, was it the Twitter or the email or what was it on?
This was from the Twitter.
The Twitter.
And it has to do with what you guys are already talking about, so it makes sense. It's from @JamesCrossan. He says, do the Union get off to a better start this year since they brought their signings in earlier this year compared to last year?
I would hope so. I would think so. I mean, they're tomorrow is Wednesday, and it's one of the first open practices. Yeah. Then they go down to Clearwater for like 3 hours, come back, go back to Clearwater for 4 hours, come back. I think they're burning up all the charter flights for this spring training thing, but...
No, they're probably flying Spirit.
So Southwest Airlines, the new sponsor.
Oh, God, I wish.
But no, I think we've got what I'd like to think, 85% of the team together.
Yeah.
And the newer signings are here. So if you're plugging in Alcino, does he really need that much time? I don't think so. I think they should get off to a really good... strong start.
And I think you got a bunch of guys who want to go after it. Like you got Matt Real in there, you got Anthony Fontana in there, and like Brendan is, I think he might feel differently because he now knows how he's established. But these other guys are like really trying to fight for their minutes and stuff like that. So I think that's going to lead to
I think even
some healthy competition.
I think
and all
even
that.
Brendan, I think he knows what he needs to do. Like,
Yeah.
he's getting pushed off the ball too much because he's
Yeah.
102 pounds.
Yeah, he
think
needs
he
to just
knows-
grow.
yeah.
Like the thing about Brendan Harrison is just like the irony. Like you don't see this too often, in at least American sports, because most of these kids are at least 18, 19 by the time they get here. But like he needs to just grow. He just needs to just finish evolving as a physical human, and then he'll be fine. But it's like I think you're going to see a lot of young guys really want to get after it and really want to put like some pressure on the guys, where you can let some of the older gentlemen, like I don't want you pushing Alejandro out there that hard. You don't need to do that. But now you look at it now, when you kind of reduce Harris and from the phrase, there's not that many old dudes on this roster, to be honest with you. It's a lot of
Allie and Blake might be the two oldest players.
like
And-
Colin
and Colin, but
like
Colin's-
of the 11, there's not a lot of age
right.
on this team. So I think you should have a good start to the year. And
And we've got depth finally in a lot
we had
of
depth
positions.
last year, I think, though.
Last year
I think
might have been the
last year-
first year I thought we had actual depth, but you still, when
We had too many cooks at a time.
when Fabian went out, you're like, oh crap, Aronson was a shock. If anybody said he wasn't a shock, your last name is probably Aronson. So
But here's the thing: he wasn't a shock, but they knew that was a possibility. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been the 18 that early in the
tell that to
season.
Brad Guzan's ass because he fell twice.
No, that's
that
what-
kid was
yeah.
a shock.
Well, to him, he was. No, I say, but I think the Union knew, like, because remember, Fontana was older than him.
Oh, yeah.
And he had the shot before him, so they brought in Aronson, being like, we already have a young dude who could possibly do this.
I'm
and
not
they're like,
trusting
"You
what
can
the
do
Union said because they said that about Pfeffer and
That was
Freddie
re- that-
Adu
that
and
was
every
all-
other
all
young
right.
guy that they.
All right, that was Union PR trying to do a thing. Was Freddie Adu? We're not going to pretend that was anything otherwise. But like that was a different MLS when Zach Pfeffer was coming through.
By the way,
you
he's
know,
the new EMLS player for the Union too.
fight me. He might actually be good though. I can only imagine there's a lot of FIFA playing Freddie Adu's done in his career.
Miss you, Freddie. Miss you.
I actually kind of do, man.
All right, we'll do one more question here, and we'll. try to
Aren't you
wrap it
glad
up
you
here.
wasted your time to type up a question?
This one's from @theDupeScoop. He says,
Yes.
"What big things are the Sons of Ben looking to do outside of game day this season?" So this one's more for Matt.
So outside of game day, well, so do you mean viewing parties? We do have a deep philanthropic effort. So we did mention we plan on going to the academy, not just to go and boo 17, 18-year-old kids from Red Bull. It's going to be a
Not
full.
the 14-year-olds.
No, we're banning everyone from the 14-year-olds.
Thank God.
So you're going to be able to go as a member of the Sons of Ben to tour the academy, to talk to the instructors, to talk to the teachers, to meet some of the younger players, to get an idea of what that whole experience is. Because before I went to the academy, I thought it was for a bunch of rich kids in the suburbs that their parents were paying tons of Lori Loughlin tuition. It's not. These kids, they can recruit from anywhere in the world, and tuition's free. So, and these kids go through a professional environment and they get to learn how to train, go to school, train, go to practice, nutrition, eat. So we're going to have an academy day. Of course, we're going to do our regular charitable efforts throughout the year. We're hoping to do some, playgrounds and cleanups throughout Chester. So just keeping an eye out on the NAC, which is our weekly email. We'll do stuff on the pod, and of course, most of the social media networks will tell you what's going on, but we do have a lot of things planned this year outside of physically watching the Philadelphia Union play soccer.
Awesome.
Don't talk about my hometown of Wayne, PA like that.
Man, rich suburban people. It could be
Look,
from
man.
it could be Medford people are rich too. And they
Yo,
got like
Haddonfield.
Haddonfield. That
Yeah.
they ain't broke.
Moorestown.
They ain't broke.
No, look,
But these kids from the academy, they ain't all from there.
no. Which is nice,
And then just a little pod news or what we're trying to do. Or do you have another question?
Yeah,
Oh,
one
one
more
more
question.
question. Whoa,
I know I
wow.
said one more already. I lied.
You're lying to the audience already.
Yeah.
This is
That
a
one
good
was
start.
directed towards you, Matt. I
yeah?
had to give Adam his question.
There you
so
go, Adam.
All
He
right.
threw me a bone. Yay.
I'll give this one. This one's pretty easy here.
Yes.
What is your favorite chant to lead and why?
What is my favorite chant to lead and why?
Sexy time.
Wow, sexy. Well, you haven't heard it yet. No. Honestly, the irony of it used to be Bohemian Rhapsody was my favorite. And the only reason why Bohemian Rhapsody was my favorite is because it would always be the one chant that catches everyone off guard because they usually only do it when we're losing. And it was just like when people heard it, they were just like, is he really doing Bohemian Rhapsody? Okay. But honestly, I think it's Salt and Pepper. Salt and Pepper has been my favorite the last couple of years. I've pushed it to be more used, and like a lot of times I get people who would be in the comments would be like, "Oh, I want to hear more push it." Also, honorable mention to the "It's Hoagie Fest at Wawa" chant. I like that one, but I mean I invented it, so that's
Yeah,
the reason for
but
that
what
one.
happens if Royal Farms becomes the official hoagie of, can we change that?
So I'm not even privy to knowing where the hell Royal Farms is.
They're based out of Maryland, but they have some in the Delco area
Can
and
my-
South Jersey.
Todd from the Free Kick hook me up with some Royal Farms. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Also, Chuck Booth. I'm not related to Chuck Booth. Fun fact. I know people have been asking since we're both African American gentlemen, roughly of the same age, who both wear glasses, but we are
Same
not.
last name though.
Same last name.
It's
Look,
the glasses and
man.
the black thing. It's not the.
Look,
it's
man.
not the last name that
There's
might
a
think
reason
that you're related.
There's a reason why I wear contacts to most games. I have to differentiate myself. There's some Buster and Babs Bunny going on here. I'm just saying. But no, we're not the same people.
You're
but
not
like,
the two Spider-Men pointing at each other.
I mean, we might be that, honestly. We are virtually the same person other than that. But anyway, it's I need to check out the Royal Farms. But no, my the Wawa Hoagie Fest chant, honorable mention. But my favorite one, I think, is Push It.
Well, we are actively working on new ones, so
Send
can
all your
email-
emails.
don't do it on the Twitter. The Twitter's a horrible way to try to tell you what a chant is.
Also, here's the thing, real talk, since I have friends in other supporters groups, so like sending me chants over my Twitter account is
Oh,
not
just
that
tells
great
other people.
people just straight be like, oh, so they're doing that this week. It's like I know we're all supposed to hate all of our rivals, but like when you're a capo, you all get war stories from being capo, so like you kind of get a band of brothers going. So it's like, but if you tell me, like, you DM me, that's totally fine. But if you tell me directly, like, on my Twitter, I'm just like, so yeah, half a Red Bull just saw that, but enjoy, I mean, it's a good idea what you gave me.
And we will, during this pod, throw out some ideas. Just like recently, what did we just get? 4 ideas since it's been sexy season.
Oh, God. Sexy season. Here's the thing with the MLS season. This is going to die by, like, May. But,
yeah.
like, the first 3 months are going to be really fun.
So I've gotten "I'm Too Sexy" from Right Said Fred. They want that as a chant.
Yeah, that's a gimme.
I heard the George Michael "I Want Your Sex" as a base for a chant for sexy time, sexy season.
That's going to be real fun throwing that over a megaphone. I'm not
Oh,
going to
yeah.
lie to you.
Instead of Hammer Time, sexy time. And
I like it.
then we just got requested over the Twitter by, well, we'll talk about our next guest later. Bring sexy back.
Look, I want to put more obscurely "Business Time" by Fly of the Conchords, but that's just me over here. I just have some own personal preferences. But no, there will be a lot of sexy in the River End this year, which is because we're usually not that sexy. But now we're going to be
We're going to be sexy.
I mean, crop tops for everybody. It's going to be great.
So that we will discuss chants. Bumped right into the microphone. Damn. Ooh, got all sexy time.
Oh, sexy up in that mic.
And then I tell you what, we are going to have a little bit of a segment on the pod from hopefully starting next week. Adam, do you know what it's going to be about?
Is it about a beverage? I almost did the advertisement for the other beer that does the opening for that, but I'm glad I did it. But yes, beer.
We, as many of you know, we've got a couple partners from breweries in the local market. So we should be announcing our final sponsors or partners for beer. And because of that, those fine gentlemen and gentlewomen have agreed to provide us at the pod a beer of the week. So then we can have a beer, discuss it, have our guests enjoy it, and basically help us get through this. So we encourage you during the pod, maybe you should get one of these beers too, and you can get through it with us, unless you're driving or at work. And if you're at work, just put it in a paper bag, it'll be fine.
Honestly, if you're at work, there's some of those places that got taps now. You know, those millennial workplaces, they're trying to be all cool. Those Googles and whatnot, the Hoolies.
That's the fountain of youth right there. These millennial
Yeah.
companies let you drink on the job.
Yeah.
Where was that crap when I was a youth?
When they were trying to convince you that working 9 hours a day was actually doing something.
9 hours a day.
Short answer, it
Overachievers.
wasn't.
Overachievers. And then another segment we're going to discuss, and we'll give a fine segment to you right now, is we kind of plan on discussing how Union Twitter is sometimes a cesspool. So we're going to discuss the social media ass hat of the week.
Ass hat of the week.
gonna be-
We need imagery. That's the next step of that. Some solid imagery.
Kind of like old mean tweets, but we are not going to honor you and mention your at. We're just going to call you out on the stupidity of what your social media tweet was.
You know what you did.
Oh, you know what you did. Oh, you definitely know.
You know.
We could even call someone out right now, but we're going to let that slide because we're giving you the warning about how sarcasm does not really translate over the Twitter, the Facebook.
There's like an image of McGruff the crime dog, but it's just me in the trench coat, just being like, I'm about to take a bite out of your tweets.
And he's not wearing anything underneath.
Never. It's like boomerang.
But
Kids, ask your parents.
it's funny because as you know, my girlfriend's from Kansas City.
Yes.
So she is a Chiefs fan. And we recently, you guys know Raj Bennett from the Men in Blazers,
I do.
who is a long-suffering Everton fan.
I shook his hand once. He's very nice people.
Nice shit. Yeah, nice bloke, as they say.
Nice chap.
Bloke. Nice chap.
God, we're insulting.
So he wrote a really great tweet congratulating the city of Kansas City Chiefs fans about how you're a long-suffering organization and that you're going to the Super Bowl gave me hope as an Everton fan. And my girlfriend, who has met Raj in the past, replied to him and just had the Chiefs flag waving. No, nothing to it, you know, and I think Raj liked it, like, oh, good to see you again, that's great. And her last name is Hunt. She's not related to the Hunts, because if that was the case, I would not be doing the pod, I would be the retired. So some little asshat decided to go on a tirade and only tagged Raj Bennett and her about how the Chiefs logo and their chants and everything is the most racist and oppressive thing ever, and that they should take no joy out of this.
No joy.
So why is this butthead trying to bring up another issue when all you're talking about is like the city and the two states that it's bordered around finally have something to look forward to in 50 years in being Chiefs fans? But he's bringing a political agenda to this. And what pissed me off the most was the next morning she goes, I just wanted to take my flag tweet down because I just didn't want to keep reading responses and hear negativity after what was probably, besides meeting me, the happiest day of her life.
I mean, it obviously was a far second. No, but, you know, as a person who has been on the social media a lot longer than he was hoping for most of his adult life, it's a classic thing where when you're a child, you know, you want to take other people's joy. They like to call it the crabs in the bucket mentality. You feeling good, I'm behind you, I'm going to try to pull you down. None of us are getting out of this bucket. We all stuck in this thing. This is what's about to happen. So, you know, people want to be like, you have joy? Well, let me bring up something about your franchise from 27 years ago that makes you sad. Like, look, I'm the first one to call them the Washington racial slurs because duh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's just like, I know the majority of Redskin fans are not out here openly hating the Native American populations of America. I think their owner's an asshat. I think you should possibly change the name. But if you're excited, but if the Redskins win a thing and you're excited, be excited. That's your squad.
Yeah.
You know?
Sports is supposed to be the escape from all of that.
Yeah.
Like, when we get into these discussions about Bimbo and everything, I go, can't we just watch 90 minutes of the Union playing? And
Absolutely,
then if they play
the hell
bad,
not.
we can bitch about them playing bad.
No,
but we got to bring in trash trucks and every other stupid thing out there. So that's why the social media asshat of the week, because that rolls right off the tongue.
Social media asshat of the week. Smathwick. No.
Maybe we can do a reader poll on Twitter.
Smithwick.
Hey, what should we really call it?
What should we actually call this? Look, man, it's an evolving medium. We'll figure this out as we go.
We'll figure it out. So anyhow, so that's a couple segments that you can look forward to as a weekly segment. And I guess I've got a little bit of news, Adam. We're going to have our first guest next week.
I honestly don't believe why anyone agreed to do this. I don't.
I'm still asking it. I'm hoping she hasn't listened to this.
She probably shouldn't, but she's going to. She was the one who asked us to bring Sexy back. Ooh, did I spoil it? I'm sorry.
Well, Katie Fellinger, you're up.
This is great. I mean, this is a fantastic opportunity for Miss Fellinger to truly get her complete Philadelphia Union fandom out there. I like that.
And we're going to let her do two things: slam as many beers as possible, and then actually read the ass hat of the week.
Ooh, can she do it as like a report?
Oh yeah, we need to get that reporter sound.
So that is my favorite thing about KYW is they still put that thing in the background, even though no one
the
is
typewriter thing.
they have not done a typewriter since like the mid '80s, but they still put that typewriter noise in the background. And I don't know how a report would be if I didn't have it.
So I guess we would have to do that with our laptops in the background.
That's totally okay. I to me as a person who used to produce like radio on the side, that is the funniest thing in the universe. Like someone has a file that just says typewriter and they just have to put that as a base every time a report's going on in the background. I'm like, yes.
You know what I'm going to do when I'm editing this podcast now? That is going to be the entire 10-minute section here. That's it.
And we can call out the snow numbers.
Right. No, I need this.
754, school 824.
There was one day when I remember the transition period where they were just like, we're just going to say your school name now. Like, once upon a time, we were just saying the 3 digits. Now we're just going to put your school at the bottom, and you can just read it in alphabetical order like a normal person.
But I went to Catholic school, so like, St. Patrick. She's like, yes. Oh, not of Woodbury, of, you son of a bit.
Look, man, this is why you have to go to regional-based public school. Then you know specifically, wait, I went to Upper Marion. I got that confused with Lower Marion.
Yeah,
Never mind.
What about the Buckses?
And
CB the Chesters East, and the Westchesters.
CB North. Is there a South Penn? Because I know there's a North Penn.
I'm sure there is in Alabama.
Then they got the Morelands. We had a lot of directional schools around these parts.
So we're gonna tackle KYW after this the next pod.
Right. So then we have Miss Fellinger's coming. She's
Katie's coming back.
I had her on the capo stand. One of the games last year, I completely black out on which particular game we won. It was 90s night, whatever 90s night was.
It was 90s night. She brought the fam to the tailgate, the family-friendly tailgate.
Very family-friendly.
She's been a huge, well, one, she's a member.
Yeah.
But two, her and her husband Steve have been huge supporters, and she's really come out to a lot of events. So I'm excited because I think she's got a great perspective on the social media thing from what she's gone into, and then we can get an idea of her feedback of like what she loves about the Union and soccer in this region. And so I'm excited for Katie to be on. And I'm excited for all these fun segments.
It's going to be a wicked ride for the next 2 episodes they give us.
Yeah, 2 more episodes and then we're getting evicted.
Completely. I actually see the tenants knocking on the door as you speak.
Well, my name is Matt Gandazik, and I'm still currently the president of the Sons of Ben.
My name is Adam Booth, and for some reason they employ me still as a capo.
We don't pay you, that's why.
It's okay. You only hear from my sexy season.
That's right. Thanks for listening to Sexy Season.
We will have another great sexy season next week.